It's time for the SMX Insider Post Race Show presented by Bass Pro Shops here in Cleveland, Ohio, where plenty of fans braved the weather and got to see Monster Energy AMA Supercross here in Huntington Bank Field for the first time in more than 30 years. And what an afternoon it was. This is one that Ken Roczen will never forget. And if you had any doubt as to his desire to win this 450 championship, it was displayed and put out of everybody's mind on lap one. Right from the drop of the gate, that determination, that drive, that passion, it was on full display.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think Kenny all year long, I mean, yeah, he's won 4 races, but to me, what he's done, he did in that second race, you know, when things started unraveling. And even last weekend, you go back to Nashville, once he gets past, he goes down and able to fight back. That's the Kenny that has a chance to win this championship. Him winning races isn't new. I mean, we talk about the late season issues. I don't think that's been a non-issue for a few years now, but this guy, the way he's been riding all year is the reason why he really has a shot to win this championship. And with 3 races left, it's game on.
And these races are really tough.
Third Triple Crown of the season on the shores of Lake Erie in Cleveland, Ohio. And highlights, well, unfortunately we have to start with a low light. This was a nasty crash suffered by Eli Tomac during qualifying. He went back, he saw the doctors. He is tough enough, brave enough, and determined enough to give it another go, but he only did 1 lap, and it was too much. Hip injury, he was unable to compete. So, at the first gate drop, it was the championship leader, Hunter Lawrence, in the lead.
Yeah, and it looked like what we saw last week in Nashville. He got the whole shot. Kenny was able to get up there, but, I mean, pretty much Hunter just ran away with him and looked business as usual. And you could see the way he's been riding the last few races, you know, pretty much all year, Hunter Lawrence that is. I mean, he was pretty comfortable. This is Jorge Prada and Malcolm battling back and forth, but nobody was touching the 96 off this first race.
That was just clean, it was clinical, and very straightforward. To race 2 we go, Ricky, and it was Justin Cooper who got a terrific start.
It sure was. Contrast in track conditions as well. Slick. It was raining at the same time. The 96 trying to play catch up. He's going to get by Malcolm Stewart, and he's going to have to turn it loose right here. But man, Ken Roczen, he just had a certain determination about halfway through this race and started making some money moves, is what I will call, that will eventually yield him a win in a Triple Crown and get his 4th win of the season. But this particular race, Justin Cooper ran a superb race 2.
On to race 3 we go, all to play for, points tied, drop of the gate, Ken Roczen out in front, and James, he would not look back.
No, he wouldn't, and thinking about it, that was kind of the theme of the day. Once the guys got out front, they were able to pull the gap, just like Justin Cooper and Hunter Lawrence that race before was able to go. But this was the first moment in the race. First off, a bad start, threw him off. He gets up, he's making his way up, goes down in the whoops, and you would think it was kind of unusual for us to see Hunter go down. See the gas leaking on him, a tough race. I mean, he, like he said on the podium, that was the last thing he was thinking about. But unfortunately for him, a couple more crashes and he's going to end up losing a lot of points here. Justin Cooper almost had a moment right there, let's just say the least. But
that could have been really bad.
Bought the farm.
Yeah, on that. But he was able to get back up, fight his way, and still end up on the podium, RC.
He was, but insult to injury right here. I mean, this stuff can happen. You know, I think he was anticipating to turn underneath Garrett Marchbanks there, and just bad timing. And yeah, it just was a horrible race, but it's on him, you know. But how about this pass right here by Justin Hill, getting by Chase Sexton?
Yeah, Chase didn't even see him coming. You can see him, he wanted to run it up the inside, but it's just a mono for Mr. Lee right here. Ken Roczen throws a wheelie going down the straightaway and then throws a turn down for the 3rd race win and overall, and more importantly, closing those points down.
Incredible. That's what Roczen needed at the right time, and the congratulations coming from his peers.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, we didn't see it, but Hunter Lawrence came up and said congratulations to Kenny. Shows his sportsmanship, and yeah, Ken Roczen gets it done today.
Let your eyes walk through that graphic and see who stands out for consistency and strength.
Top 5 by Joey Savatgy, very sporty, 6.76. Oh man, that's good, considering the guys that he's racing against.
Coming back from that broken
Yeah, and he told us he's not 100%.
Not 100%. He rode this week a couple of times, which was really good, and obviously the results are coming back because he himself said, I kind of lost a little bit of speed because I wasn't riding.
That's
because I couldn't ride because of my foot. So he storms back for an overall top 5. Well done, bravo.
Yeah, it looks like Malcolm had a problem there, but that 12th, I think he would have been contending for the podium had not that happened, because he's riding well all night.
So overall win for Roczen, overall 6th for Hunter Lawrence. That brings us to this incredibly exciting points standings situation. Yes, we've seen multiple leaders, red plate holders, multiple ties. Now there's just a solitary point between Hunter Lawrence and Ken Roczen.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, the way it's been going, you know, not surprising how close the points been, but the way the day started off, bummer with Eli Tomac going out, but then look at this, Lee. It's been amazing.
I mean, these guys they just got to win.
Yeah,
straight up. There's just no two ways about it. If they want to win the title,
Wouldn't have it any better.
That's crazy.
So the man of the moment, Ken Roczen, whether you want to call him Kickstart Kenny, Comeback Kenny, how about Kickstart for a Cause, powered by Propeller. You fans can enter to win Kenny's race bike at any time throughout this season. All the proceeds go to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and their work to treat and, more importantly, defeat childhood cancer and other life-threatening diseases. Here's what you got to do. Text Suzuki to 99126. Text Suzuki to 99126. It was hugely popular last year. A lot of money was raised. Let's do it again in 2026. It's a family affair at the Roczen household. Tell us more, Will.
Thank you, Lee. I'm down here now with a very important person. The Roczen behind the Roczen. Courtney, thanks so much for your time. 4th win at the season. I could see the emotion coming out of you. You had Griff on the phone there, out of Ken, out of Billy, out of the whole team. What you're doing right now collectively as a group, I think it shouldn't surprise everyone because we know Ken's skills, but I think the way that you guys are collectively doing it, it's just blowing everybody away. What's the secret? Why now is this coming together the way it is?
I think just finding the right people and really just having fun with it. You know, Larry laid the foundation for just go and race. And that's all we're doing. Racing, finding the happiness in it, the joy in it, and the light pressure situation. So we believe in our guy and we believe in our team, and I know that we're still in it. So
you're very much still in it. There's a point in it right now, but that belief thread is running stronger seemingly to me at least than it has any other time. You know, it's one thing for an athlete to say I'm in this position, it's another thing to execute that, and Kenny seems to have a sense of belief that's very special right now. Is that about experiences, about years doing this? Where does that coming from?
I think it's just the accumulation of everything. You know, the years of the highs, the lows, he knows how to manage those so well. And, you know, it's just he's done the work. He's put himself in every kind of scenario throughout his career. I mean, he's had a long career, and I think nothing really surprises him anymore, and I think that's a true value that you can bring to you into a championship season.
And it's showing, it's coming through. Now, just talk a little bit about the family. Obviously, you've got the boys at home. What's that like? This happens at the weekend. You get another win, you go home, and then how does the week look?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Ken gets his rest days, the kids go to school, and I go back to my office job, you know, helping run our side hustles and everything. So, no, I think it's just, you know, we go about it just like we have every other weekend. You know, you do your work, we let him do his work. You know, the boys know the assignment. You know, they know, like, Daddy's in it for, you know, what the big picture is, and they want it just as bad as he does. Like, they understand it. We've explained it to them as well as a 2- and 5-year-old can get it, and yeah, they're just as much of key players as, you know, anyone else on the team.
Well, I think you've plucked a lot of heartstrings collectively, you guys. Everyone's just clearly behind you. The entire stadium was, and regardless of how this season rolls out, ultimately, congratulations on where you are right now.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time. Bye.
Nobody knows better than the spouse of an elite athlete, of their mindset and their approach and the sacrifice. And whenever I see Courtney Roczen, I always think back to that win that Ken had in St. Louis that broke a 3-year drought after he was coming back from that horrendous injury and various other things. And so we hear from the family side with Courtney. These two legends, James Stewart, Ricky Carmichael, two of the greatest in the sport ever. When you speak, people listen because your words carry weight. Roczen's 1 point out of the championship lead, 3 races to go. What does he need to do from here on out?
My kids don't always listen, but I think, seriously, I think that Ken, listen, he's always had the talent and the skill set and the physical ability to win this championship multiple times. I think for me, when I think of Kenny and what it's going to take, is he just mentally has to do it. I think it is all upstairs between the ears for Kenny. And I think that anyone that has competed, James, at the level that we have would probably agree with that, because really that's the only thing in my mind that's eluded them, other than when he had that horrific injury when he went to Factory Honda HRC. But the skill has always been there.
Okay, so many hours ago, standing right here at the top of the broadcast, we said about Hunter Lawrence leading, James, and has become renowned this year for 2 things: his consistency and his resilience coming back from adversity. We find ourselves at that juncture again. What does he need to do to defend that 1 point lead and extend that 1 point lead? More importantly, rebound from this. He got a win. We shouldn't forget about that. But that 3rd and final race was just brutal. How does he come back?
Honestly, I think he continues to be who he is. You know, the fact that he stopped and did an interview with us, like, just shows you what kind of person he is. He congratulated Ken Roczen. You know, he talked about it. I mean, he made a mistake, got a bad start, goes down. I think if he just does what he does, I think he'll be fine, because every time he needed to win this year, he's done it. And, you know, for me, yeah, he's going to go up against Ken Roczen. Who has more talent? Kenny obviously has the speed, but I think Hunter is still in a good spot, and that's hard for a lot of athletes to deal with, and Hunter can deal with it the best. His mental attitude is what's going to separate him if he goes on to win this championship.
Definitely been incredibly stable this year, hasn't he? All right, JT, what you got for us?
Well, I am standing down here on a very cold, wet, and windy racetrack, and you see those ruts there in front of you, and just thinking about that performance in race 3 from Ken Roczen, because I spoke to him couple times tonight, but after race 1, he said this track right now, these conditions are my own personal nightmare, because it was a little bit wet, a little bit slippery, the base was really hard, and it was inconsistent conditions. That was what was so tricky, is that he couldn't really trust anything, because if you wanted to push the front end and trust it, you couldn't, because we had rain coming down, and it was just really changing the entire time. So for him to come out on a track where he really wasn't feeling that comfortable and get the job done the way he did in race 3, he's crawled his way back into this championship. And there are a lot of people, myself included, wondering if last week and going back 10 points was going to be too much to overcome. But here we are, 3 rounds to go, 1 point separates them. And who knows, maybe we have weather at all 3 of the remaining races. But this championship's really turning into something. And guys, I don't know that we could have a better story. I said it last year, we had that battle between the 2. Unfortunately, we lose Eli Tomac effectively from the championship again here today. But it's going to come down to these 2, and the most unlikely championship scenario. Ricky, James, would you have believed anybody if they said, hey, it's going to come down to Ken Roczen and Hunter Lawrence for the championship? Like, nobody was thinking about that when we were leaving Anaheim 1.
I mean, not in this scenario.
No,
I mean, not the way this is unfolded.
No shot. You couldn't have drew it up. I just, again, I go back to the top of the show. I didn't have Hunter Lawrence being a championship contender. I thought he was going to consistently fight for podiums. I really did. I had him in that J Coupe kind of category. But, man, he has overexcelled far beyond what I thought he was going to do. And I mean that respectfully.
And I think, too, that even though we're in this every week, week in, week out, we've got to remind ourselves we're talking about a guy in Hunter Lawrence who's finished runner-up in the SMX World Championship the last 2 years in a row. I remind myself of that every time when we think. And so it just gives us a fabulous story, a lot of enjoyment with just 3 to go.
Revs are up, gates down. The culmination of months of anticipation has built to this, the Pro Motocross Championship. And this is it. Let's get it outside with Pro Motocross.
Here's what we have to look forward to as far as the 2026 Pro Motocross Championship, kicking off at the end of May in California at Pala at Fox Raceway. You'll see that on NBC. At Hangtown, the WMX, powered by Synchrony Championship. It is there as well, and I'll let you walk through and see all the way through to the end of August in Ironman, to the conclusion of that. And then we look forward to those 3 weekends in September for the SMX World Championship playoffs and finale. .250 East with 3 rounds remaining in Cleveland, and everybody chasing the New Zealander Cole Davies. That was the overarching theme coming in to this Triple Crown event, the final one of the year, with the championship leader dominate.
Yeah, Cole Davies was looking great all day long, but it was Nate Thrasher able to get the first hole shot in this race and tried his best to get out front. You can see Cole being very calm. I'm kind of surprised to see him, what we saw in that 450 class with Hunter Lawrence. You see Cole make a mistake here, allows Seth Hamaker to get up, and Nate did his best to hold him off, but Seth was a little too much stronger in this first one. Goes on to get the first victory in this Triple Crown, and good start for the number 10 on the Kawasaki.
That's what he needed, and took points away, most importantly at that stage, from championship leader Cole Davies. So let's scoot ahead to the second.
Yeah, massive chaos after the start here. Drew Adams going down with Devin Simonson, and of course the 37 of Cole Davies. They're gonna have a red flag situation. They couldn't get this man, Drew Adams, off the track. He was in a very difficult spot in between 2 lanes, and a near miss right here. Cole Davies, if he would have exited, he wouldn't have been able to return. He'd been disqualified, so he owes that nice lady there several dinners like you talked about, James. But Nate Thrasher, he had an incredible night overall. He'll go on to have an incredible finish here in the second. But check it right here. The number 10 is Seth Hamaker doing a slide job, going up the inside. He had a bad start, so that's what he was doing, trying to pull himself out of a hole. And the man right here gets a win, moto number 2.
Nate Thrasher, and that was an omen for what was to come as we go ahead to the 3rd race, and down goes Seth Hamaker as his title rival Cole Davies goes to the front.
Yeah, it's kind of been the story of his season, you know, really close fast and then just has this incident. But Cole Davies wasn't having none of this. He was like, I'm tired of all you guys winning. I'm gonna get back up to form. Pretty uneventful race for him, but the battle was up here. As you can see, Nate Thrasher goes up the inside of Daxton Bennett, and that was going to be key for him because they would lock up the overall there. Daxton did a great job at, you know, holding him off, fighting, but Cole Davies was able to get this win, but the overall win today was going to go to Mr. Nate Thrasher, first one of the year for him.
He's won a race every year since 2021. And again, a ton of potential. He has always been one of those guys that can win on any given moment. He's beat some of the best guys around to do that throughout that year since 2021, and great job.
On the left-hand side of that podium, and in second on this graphic, is teenager, a rookie, Landon Gordon. And in just his 2nd weekend as a pro, finishes on the podium with a terrific 4.22 result. Look at who he beats. He beats the championship leader and his teammate Cole Davies in a wash, a podium sweep, the Monster Energy Star Yamaha, a Thrasher, Gordon, Davies podium. It has been Yamaha's year.
I mean, they swept the podium. Look at that.
I don't know what else to say.
They're like the old Alabama Roll Tide back in the day. It was Saban. I mean, the lineup is endless.
And that was win number 13 of 14 races this year for Yamaha. It has been an extraordinary year. That brings us to the points, and it is a lot more comfortable in the 250 East division than it is in the 450 class. A 21-point advantage for Cole Davies over Seth Hamaker.
Yeah, I mean, Cole's still in a great spot. You could tell by his riding. That first race was a little uncharacteristic for him, but the second and third one, especially that second one, he just took what he had. He understands the points lead and has an opportunity to wrap it up next weekend. If Seth ends up 3rd, if Cole wins, he'll be your champion. But that's why we go racing. We saw what happened with Eli Tomac in practice. Anything can go, and he's got to stay the course.
get real. Cole Davies only has one thing on his mind. Here comes Davies. Triple Crown winner. 1, 2, 3.
The first 250 showdown of a year.
Davies in control and comfortable. It's Detroit, 250 East Main. Davies wins Detroit. Here in Tennessee, let's go. Cole Davies has done it again. Here's the team that's been doing it all. Monster Energy Star Yamaha. Here's the points, the manufacturer points across both classes here for this Cleveland round. Very strong yet again. Wait till you see the year-long standings because the Blue Crew continue to celebrate. Look at that. A 112-point advantage to Yamaha over Kawasaki. So we head from Cleveland, Ohio to Philadelphia, PA. Looking forward to Philly next week. I want to just ask you really quickly about 250s. We said the advantage, 21 points that Cole Davies has. If he leaves Philly with a 25-point advantage, championship is his. What does he do next week? You're both champions. What does he do?
Man, I think he does what he did this third race.
Don't change anything?
I mean, because I think that would throw him off. You know, we saw him a little different that first race. He ends up going down. He knows how quickly things can happen. You just look around. The people will tell him, like, you got to stay focused. I think if he goes out and does his job, he'll be fine.
It's going to be a tough road for Seth Hammaker.
It's Bobby Reagan.
He'll let him know.
Team owner at Star. And let's talk more about this team. They are dominating, but let's talk about the youngster, Landon Gordon. How about that, Ricky?
Yeah, absolutely incredible. You go from his rookie debut last week, and then he comes into this weekend not probably really knowing what to expect. Oh, and by the way, it's a Triple Crown, and he was absolutely perfect, I believe, for his first race. I mean, a Triple Crown, consistent 4-2-2, and it's not like he got his doors blowed off.
Yeah.
He was right there. He kept Cole in sight that third round, and I can't wait to see him square up next week in Philly. Regular format. He's got a lot of confidence and a lot of things to be happy about. Incredible.
Quite a contrast on the weeks. He went from a DNF last week to a podium in a matter of 7 days. All right, let's have a look forward to next weekend, the Yamaha track map. What are we looking forward to?
Well, it looks like when I'm sitting here watching it, and this is the first time that I've seen it, I love the first corner. Very nice sweeping 180, gives some guys to move around. I like that, especially for the 450 class, but some back and forth, some 180s, some options to pass right there. Not a big fan of the 90 degrees just from a passing perspective, but I think I see a racetrack that you're gonna be able to race too wide in a lot of areas. Again, it's the East Coast. Let's hope Mother Nature works with us to have a great race, not only for the fans, but these great athletes.
And here's how you can watch Race Day Live, 1 p.m. Eastern, Peacock. The first gate will drop at 7 p.m. Eastern on Peacock. We'll have this post-race show presented by Bass Pro Shops, also on Peacock, and then we'll have an encore presentation all the way home. You'll see Monster Energy AMA Supercross and the SMX World Championship on NBC. And don't forget the SMX Video Pass, available outside the US. Well, Mother Nature didn't work entirely with us here in Cleveland, but it wasn't as bad as it was predicted. Yes, we did see some muddy and slippery and challenging conditions, but this first time back in Cleveland in more than 3 decades gave us an afternoon to remember. Nate Thrasher, congrats to you on your first win of the year. The veteran, the legend, Ken Roczen, congrats on your 4th. He says thank you. He had quite the weekend here in Ohio. See you next week in Philly.